Hello, welcome to another art deck flip through, or deck art flip through of Commander product. So we're up to the third deck now that form part of the Commander 2017 product. So this was the Vampire deck, and it was called, Vampiric Bloodlust was the name of the deck. Now you'll also notice with these, in terms of the colour combinations, there was no cycle of colours, so to speak. So it wasn't the case they were all two colour decks or monocolour decks or whatever. With these you had a 5 colour deck, which was the dragon one. The cat deck was, I think, 2 colours, the one we did last week. And then this one, the vampire one, and the wizard one, which we've yet to do, yet to flip through, were 3 colour decks. I'll include links to the original unboxings that I did for these, because these are artwork only, so that way you can actually see the cards fully for those. And I'll also include a link to the original articles on the deck. So both the main commander, the lead commander, and the 2 alternates are in foil. And then we get on to the bulk of the deck here. So as I've been doing for this one, I'm front loading all the legendary creatures in here. And with some, there's more legendary creatures than others. And there we go. That's it. So now we're just moving through in regular sort of rarity order, starting off with higher rarity, rares and mythics, and then getting through to commons and uncommons towards the end. But we've got some real, classic vampire themed artwork. And I don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is. Like every time I see what I would call floaty vampire artwork, where you have the vampire just sort of floating in midair on the card, it always makes me think of, and as soon as I just think of the image in my head, I've got shivers down my spine. In Salem's Lot, I saw it on, it would be the TV one. Was it with David Soul in the lead role? And there's one where there's the young vampire floating outside this other kid's window, tapping on the window, I think, to be let in. And just floating there with these strange coloured eyes. Oh, dear me. I don't know what it was about that, but yeah. That image is burnt into my memory. So every time I see what I would call a floaty vampire, I have flashbacks to that TV movie. It's cool if you can actually find, I think there's a couple of versions of that film or movie, made for TV series, whatever we want to call it. There's one version slightly longer than the others. There's like a slightly cut down version. From what I remember, I think originally I saw the one where it was divided up into parts. So you can see we've also got a number of support cards here which fit in with the theme but don't necessarily relate directly to, say, vampire tribal, in terms of, they mention vampires or they have vampire artwork, but they're just there because they very much fit with the mechanics of the deck. And also provide, utility that's really useful for this theme or in this format. But here is one that is specifically vampire themed. Looks like the Red Wedding. Yeah, we're still on the higher rarity cards here. Some nice higher rarity artifacts. Nice Door of Destinies. And now onto the uncommons and commons. I haven't specifically checked, but often in these vampire decks you might find a lot of stuff from, like the Zendikar period. But of course since then there's been other very heavily vampire themed sets as well. So you can see here we have the curses, we've got two of them. Yeah. And to go for the throat in the deck and a skeletal scrying. We get interesting cards like Mortify. It's always interesting to see the removal they include because of the the colour combination of the deck. We're in red, white, black, so there's plenty of options removal wise for a variety of different types of cards, different permanents. Good old Soul Ring. And a Skull Clamp. And do we have the full complement of signets, maybe? Yes, we do. And the Worn Power gemstone. So we're now moving on to our commons. We've still got the common and uncommon basic lands to come yet. I'm sorry, non-basic lands and the basic lands themselves. But you can see here, yeah, as we get here, we've got the usual suspects for fixing multicoloured decks, which are not too expensive in terms of prices of the cards. So there's our evolving worlds, and we also have a terramorphic expanse. And the original Ravnica bounce lands. That was all the life lands. So it's good to see, you know, they've got the full appropriate part of the cycle that will be playable in these decks. And then the same with the guild gates as well. So a bit of monocoloured utility here as well. And then we move on to the actual basic lands. So let's look at some of the different artwork here. I think we're probably only going to get a couple of each of the art in here, because, you know, we've just got so much non-basic land. Yeah, they're even just one piece of artwork actually, because there's so, relatively speaking, there's so few of these, because we need all the mana fixing we can get through those non-basics that we've seen. So with the planes, just one of each of the three pieces of artwork, and then moving on to the swamps. That's 3 copies of that artwork. Yeah, I think there's slightly more swamps in this deck. 3 of those. Finally, a couple of those. So onto the tokens, and I've put them at the bottom here so I don't do my usual trick of forgetting them and then having to tack them on the end. So let's see what we've got. Probably a ton of vampire tokens and also a ton of bat tokens. So the one thing I wish they'd do is, when they've got like multiple tokens of the same thing, you know, have a little bit of variety artwork wise, I think would be a little bit more interesting. Because as you can see for these, the vampires and the bats, the artwork's all the same. So 10 cards, all double-sided, so giving you 20 tokens in total. And we get onto the zombies now. But, yep, still a vampire there lurking. A zombie and a vampire. Oh. More zombies and vampires. Oh, we do have an Eldrazi spawn there. So, yeah, vampires all the way through, actually. On, maybe there was one, yeah, sorry, there. No, actually, looking at these quickly in front of me, yeah. There's a vampire on at least one side of every of these. And then the other side you've either got bats or zombies or the lone Eldrazi spawn there. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future episode.